We're back after a week gone. Tabata has brought back a fire chapter. Pretty good, pretty nice, setting up everything we need for the end of this battle, and a really intimidating conclusion, as you can easily see by the layout of this page. It's such a malefic simplicity. I really love that kind of moment when you have this kind of example. The characters facing off against the enemy, and just that kind of decisive moment that's going to be, in said fight. But as the chapter opens up, the word devil, and he's got all the different mouths opening up on his body. As he is, it makes more sense. He's got all these mouths. His abilities based on speaking, so him having more mouths, obviously increasing his power, makes a lot of sense. Just a terrifying guy after he turns just the creepy magic. Would you just be magic? More basically mana, like leeches, slugs of some kind, and then morph into weird, horrific, spooky handed, giant mod monstrosities. And now they're just coming in for all times, ready to end it. His creepy sludge creature is seeping into all the different areas of the Shadow Palace. He's just getting all serious now. He's had it. He's tired of these people. He almost died. He literally, we don't know if he'd die or if he'd be defeated. We don't know how the demons work, but he was almost definitely defeated. If he hadn't switched his side, his heart was on that surprise attack when and Asta teamed up, would have taken him out. But luckily, for him at least, he was able to just make that small, quick yet light decision. So with that, they're still going at it. They're still cutting through all these parts of the creature and messing with him so that he, he's not able to get in that last attack. He's not able to fully overwhelm them. But as they know, Asta, he can't hold this for much longer. He's in this form. It's already kind of this elongated, pushed out version. He has this buffed up new form of his sword he was able to create, but he's not able to obviously keep it for very long. We know from when he first ever got the form, at free will, he couldn't use it very long, and even after he learned how to do it, he was only able to use it for a short period of time. So obviously, the combining of this, progressed form that he's in right now, slightly further progressed than his normal one, as well as the Black Divider buff, and then you stack all the fighting he's been doing for the past day and a half, it's gonna run him down. So Asa's kind of you maybe cramped up moments, his body's starting to not respond to him as much as he wanted him to. But while everyone else is kind of doing their own thing, you have Licht and Lumiere, who are trying to figure out what they can do, and actually show a cool technique that actually further kind of pushes the idea for Asa just being this really eventual kind of good position as Wizard King or Magic Emperor, whichever you prefer. If he ever learns how to use the swords in the original style that Licht was able to use, talks about how the Demon Dweller sword, almost original, well, not original, the original fan translation, but whatever. He's able to use it to pretty much help people. To get Piers off, use back to Jack and Noel go against Fauna. Their fights are still going, and I think that there were some upset from people that we didn't get to see these other fights happen. But I think that a lot of the other fights were set up outside of the small character moments we got. I think they were set up to kind of distract you, because when you read a shonen, you see all these fight setups. Okay, we're gonna see this fight, and that's gonna be a chapter 2, and then it's gonna be this fight. We're gonna get a chapter 2, and then we're gonna end with the big battle. But it's really been those were distractions. They were set up to kind of get you off the mindset of the War Devil popping up. All the pieces starting to link up and make sense of why we had all these questions in Black Clover's story. These characters, their story makes sense in these areas, but it doesn't on this end. And theirs makes sense in these areas, but theirs doesn't make sense in there are so many holes in inside of both stories from the humans and the elves, and then we find out that the demon, obviously the word devil, was the the ringleader in all this. He was the one pulling the strings and getting everything prepped up for him to get a physical body and a grimoire. But from all that, we know that it's not looking too good for them. Obviously, from their perspective, I think we all know that they're not going to die. I mean, the first big arc in a series that Tabata said that he's planning on going as far as Naruto and One Piece as long as they'll let him. So it'll be a good while. There's actually some scenes like you see Yuno using his sword, and it doesn't look like swordsmanship. It looks like he's literally just swinging around a big blade. Obviously, with some form of like knowing how to swing a sword, where he's not just flaunting it around, but you could tell like it's not as natural as someone. Well, I guess natural as honed as someone like Asta. But while they're all linked together, because of the fact that the demon dweller sword is able to connect to other people, we saw when Licht drained magic out of the other elves to use the Aeon Slash that or what was it called, Supreme Aeon, but whatever. He instead this time is casting like magic around them. They're combining it. They're using a union magic, and you have Lumiere using that connection to use his light magic to kind of create a radiance around other people, all the other people in the area. So they're also getting defended against them, because like you see like when Fauna and all them are fighting, she almost actually gets consumed by the large creepy like monster creature that came out. And Nozzle actually is the one that saves her. He's able to, get a quick little push. You see, like, his Mercury just get absorbed, and he was able to just barely get Fauna out of the way. And they're just like, we need to leave. We don't have time for fighting on other side right now. We need to get out of here. We evacuate this goddamn area. And then, Marileona shows up. She throws her attacks. She throws her Caldas Brachium Barrage. Doesn't seem to do anything. They just absorb the magic. I figured that the fire, because it's magic burning fire, I figured it would actually be effective against. But we know at least it's able to absorb up to her level, definitely. Because like I figured something that could kind of like have its own style of like magical cancellation, something like magic burning fire, that it would be one of the things effective against it. But nope, not effective. Didn't do anything. Maybe Salamander might be able to do something. I don't think we've seen anything about that. Probably not, considering Fuegoleon is just like, we need to get the fuck out of here too. And even Charmy's like, oh shit, what's going on? Like, it's definitely spooky. You get this weird, big, massive creature just like oozing into where you are. But luckily, some good thinking on them, and they were able to help each other out. And the reason why I think it's very like a beneficial thing for Asta, if he eventually learns how to use anti-magic swords in their original way, the way that Licht uses them when they turn like pure white, is like the idea that not only can the wielder draw power from those around him, but also protect them from like range like this. And it's just one of those aspects that kind of like gives them that like leader perk, which I think is really cool. I think it's a really good kind of like thing that you could put onto for Asta. That's like, okay, that's their thing, is Wizard, King, or Magic Emperor, whichever you prefer title, would be like a good idea of like, okay, on the battlefield, what makes this character the biggest thing? It's like, okay, even if he's not fighting, he can still buff and heal people, or get them from long distances. Because you can imagine like in a fight, like, okay, we're going to war with one of the other kingdoms. Say you have like Lumiere and Licht in there, just in a hypothetical, or rather anyone with not Lumiere and Licht, maybe just anyone who could use the original Demon Dweller sword. I guess that's really just Asta, potentially, and Licht, but put them in there, and someone with healing magic, you could heal them from long distances, give them buffs, do all sorts of probably bad, which would give you like, in case you're like, okay, I'm the trump card and you just stand back, but you're still able to do something, which is really cool in that aspect, because it gives you that that kind of like individual, like, I want to say, not trump card, but just all around like a the oh, jack of all trades. That's not working. I don't know. You know what I mean? Just all around like utility unit top of being, which would be pretty cool. That's one of the things like back in Naruto. That's like one of the things that Tsunade actually could like pull off as having this leadership position. She could make the smaller versions of her slugs, and then like send them out to people to have intel, but also heal on them, which is pretty cool. But they're able to help him. Lumiere is like talking about he's determined not to let anyone die. They're able to have use their bromance powers, buddies from hundreds of years ago, in order to keep pushing themselves forward. And then you actually get a really nice moment between Austin, just them having their little brotherly rivalry. A short moment as they're like talking shit at each other, but at the same time, like wanting to making sure each other's okay, but also wanting to keep going, keep pushing forward, finish this fight. And that's when you get that this page. It's so cool. It's so simplistic. Like you just like, okay, it's Austin, and they're in the air. They're both kind of like illuminated, and they're getting ready for the final attack. They've only got a little bit left. You got the word devil off in the distance. Actually, I think it looks really cool in the panel when you have like all the white parts on it. When you see like a little bit of his silhouette, but it's like you have all those white circles, but they're actually they're from his open mouths. Just the way that look like. And then you have also obviously all the big like monstrous mouths open, peering towards them. It's like a very like simplistic idea for a panel, but it looks just really cool. It's very intimidating layout. And then it like cuts back into Carla, Elf that took over Charlotte's body, and Yami, who are prepping up for an attack. I thought he was gonna do like a dimension slash. It looks like they're gonna do a combo because she's like making a scabbard around his sword out of vine. So maybe like an elongated. Maybe it won't be a dimension slash, but it'll be like I don't know, some super giant thorny katana. Maybe they'll combine it and it'll just be an elongated dimension slash. We'll see, because obviously they're going to need that opening. We know that Yami has relevance in this, the fact that he can't deal with light magic and he can't deal with dark magic. So once he's able to get that slash and hopefully make an opening for to propel Asta at the Word Devil and take him out. Maybe get it in a different manner. Maybe we could get something like Asta goes at him and then he dodges out of the way, the Word Devil, and then is right there, does another wind propellant, and then like shoots Asta right back at him, or something like that. Something to kind of like give that really badass final ending strike onto this guy, because it says on the last page that the next chapter is going to be it, because we know that Yami only has one strike left. Asta clearly can't hold it very much longer for his form and his black divider, and I can safely assume that he's in some rough like energy areas too. And it seems like it. Next chapter, it looks like it's gonna be the end of this battle. It's gonna give up that final moment of when they have their amazing setup combo and get that last strike and take down this guy. Whether he dies, I'm curious. I feel like he's not gonna die, but he's gonna maybe get like extremely wounded, hurt, and then gonna have to retreat. And that's where we see him kind of like convene with like a handful of other demons or something, kind of just like still give that threat of like these characters are out there, and maybe we won't get them for a while. But the fact that we just saw all this stuff for the last like, what did it show up in chapter 196, 195 or something around that? Some for like the last like 15 chapters, this dude has just been going ham, just being an absolute threat monster, man. And so like if we got like 5 or 6 other demons, that would just like make it like, holy shit, like how would they take down this guy or this many people? We don't know, because that's going to be stuff for way later on. We don't know the large scale goals of the demons. We only really know of 2, and we don't really know much about either of them. And one of them we only really saw one interaction 100 chapters ago. So okay, thanks. Anyway, I'll put a link in the description for the chapter if you want to check it out. Tell me what you think about what you thought about the chapter in the comment section below. And I'd really appreciate if you thumbs up the video, from the like button, subscribe button, and check out my other videos. Other than that, I appreciate everyone who's already subscribed, and I thank you all for listening. Bye.